If you are past 60 and your belly will not move no matter what you cut from your plate, the problem is not your plate. The problem is a specific kind of bacteria your gut stopped making the day you turned 60, and what it quietly does to your liver from the inside. In the next 15 minutes, I will show you the small fermented bowl the old fishermen of Japan have eaten before sunrise for over 1,000 years. The hidden reason your liver has been storing fat behind your back for the last decade, and the one missing piece your body cannot make on its own after 60, no matter how clean you eat. My name is Amadou Salori. For 45 years, I have served my people through the plant medicine my grandfather placed in my hands, passed down 7 generations from the elders of our village. My grandfather used to sit me on the edge of the well and tell me, Amadou, all sickness begins in the belly. Heal the belly, and the body remembers what it knew. He was speaking of fermentation, of the living things inside us that decide how we age. The old ones in our hills understood what the laboratories are only now writing down. The gut governs the fire of inflammation, the rhythm of sleep, the strength of the bone wall. But after 60, the gut goes quiet. That quiet is the reason your slacks fit different around the middle than they did at 50, even though you eat less than you did then. That quiet is what we are going to fix today, my brother, my sister. Here is what nobody told you when you turned 60. The number on the scale is not the problem. The mirror is not the problem. The problem is one organ behind your ribs that has gone tired, and one population of small workers in your belly that has gone silent. Let me name them. The organ is your liver. After 60, your liver does not break. It tires. For 6 decades, it has filtered every meal, every medicine, every breath of city air. Your doctor checks your liver enzymes and tells you the numbers look fine. But there is a quieter condition the standard panel often misses, called fatty liver, where the liver begins storing fat inside itself instead of clearing it out. Researchers estimate close to 1 in 3 older adults carry this quiet condition without knowing. The old ones in our village did not need a blood test. They could see it in a woman's middle. They could see it in the color around her eyes. When the liver stores fat, the belly stores fat too. The two are tied together by a hormone signal the old ones called the inner messenger. Modern science calls it adiponectin. When the liver clogs, the messenger goes silent, and the belly holds on to every calorie like winter is coming. You can starve yourself, my sister, and the belly will not let go. That is why the diet is not working. That is why the gym is not working. But the liver is only half of the story. The other half is happening 1 floor below in your gut. By the age of 60, research now shows we lose up to 50% of the beneficial bacteria we carried at 30. Half of the inner garden gone quiet. And that is the part nobody is telling you. Probiotic yogurt cannot fix it. A glass of kombucha cannot fix it. We will get to exactly why in a few minutes. First, let me show you the food the old fishermen used to wake the tired liver every morning before the sun came up. The food is natto, fermented soybeans the old fishermen of Japan have eaten before sunrise for more than 1,000 years. It looks strange to Western eyes. It smells like something my grandfather would have laughed at. But what it does inside an aging body is what 1,000 pharmacy shelves have been trying to copy and failing. Natto carries 3 things at once, and this combination is rare. Most foods give you one of the 3. Natto gives you all 3. The first is a living bacterium called Bacillus subtilis. My grandfather would have called it the small worker. This worker survives the stomach acid that kills most probiotics on the way down. It reaches the gut alive. It begins to crowd out the troublemakers that drive inflammation in an older body. The second is an enzyme created in the fermentation called nattokinase. The researchers came to the fishing villages with their notebooks and discovered what the fishermen had lived for 10 generations. Nattokinase helps thin the slow, sticky blood that comes with age. The fishermen used to say, it moves what is stuck. That is exactly what the lab found. The third is vitamin K2, the form of vitamin K that pulls calcium out of soft tissue and places it back in the bones where it belongs. Without K2, calcium drifts into the wrong places. The arteries, the joints, the belly. With K2, it goes home. The worker rebuilds the gut floor. The enzyme opens the channels. The K2 directs calcium back where it belongs. Together, they wake the tired liver and give the belly permission to release what it has been holding. That is one of the reasons the older women in Okinawa carry less fat at 70 than most American women carry at 50. They are not the exception, my people. The exception is what we have been doing in this country. But here's where most folks get it wrong, even the ones who already know about natto. They eat it the wrong time of day. They pair it with the wrong drink. The order matters more than the food itself. Stay with me one more minute and I will show you exactly how the old fisherman did it, and then I will tell you the story of a librarian named Eleanor who learned the hard way that the food alone was not enough. Eleanor was 73 when she came to me from Bozeman, Montana. A librarian for 38 years. Her waist had grown 3 inches in 2 years, and her doctor had told her it was just menopause finishing its work. What was overlooked was that her liver enzymes had drifted upward each year, never enough to alarm anyone, but the trend was there. We started her on natto every morning before any other food with the protocol I am about to share with you. By week 8, her waistband had loosened by 1 full inch. By week 16, her fasting glucose had dropped by 22%. The natto was working. But then the progress stopped, my sister. For 6 full weeks, the scale would not move another pound. Her waistband stayed where it was. The liver enzymes had improved, but had not come all the way back. She wrote me a letter and said, "Amadou, what am I missing?" That was the question I had been asking myself for 2 years before Eleanor walked through my door. The natto was rebuilding her liver, but her gut bacteria were still half of what they had been at 30. The small workers were arriving every morning. They had no soil to root into. No harvest was coming through. Therefore, I added the missing piece, the same piece I will tell you about in a few minutes. Within 4 weeks, her waistband loosened a 2nd inch. Her glucose dropped further. Her liver enzymes returned to where they had been at age 60. She wrote me again, "Amadou, I can feel my mornings again. I wake up and my body feels like mine." The natto is the foundation. It is real medicine. But for a body over 60, the foundation is not the whole house. There is one piece your body cannot make on its own anymore. We are coming to it. First, the protocol the way the old fishermen do it, because if you do not get this right, none of what follows will work. You take 1 small bowl of natto, about 2 tablespoons first thing in the morning. Before coffee, before juice, before anything else touches your mouth except a glass of warm water with a squeeze of lemon, 10 minutes earlier. The warm water wakes the liver gently, like opening a window before a guest arrives. Cold water shocks an older liver, but warm water invites it. You stir the natto for 30 turns with chopsticks or a fork until it becomes stringy and white. The stringiness is the medicine, my brother. Do not throw it away. Add a small amount of soy sauce or tamari, no more than 1 teaspoon. Eat it slowly, chew it well, and wait 15 minutes before you eat or drink anything else. That 15 minutes is the window where the worker bacterium settles into the gut and the enzyme reaches the bloodstream undiluted. Then a short walk, 10 minutes is enough. Movement carries the enzyme further into the body. The old fishermen walked to the boats. You do not need a boat, you need a sidewalk. Quality matters. Refrigerated or frozen only? Look for the words live cultures on the label. The shelf-stable kind has been heated, and the worker is dead. A dead worker cannot rebuild your gut. And a word of care, my people. If you are taking blood thinners like warfarin, you must speak with your doctor before adding natto, because the K2 in it works on clotting. This is not a maybe, this is a must. By the end of the first month, the waistband begins to give. By month 3, the changes become visible to others. But here is what Eleanor's story teaches, and what I learned the hard way over 2 years of watching natto alone fall short on women past 60. The food is the foundation. It is not the whole answer. If this teaching has reached you so far, take 2 seconds and hit subscribe. Many folks tell me they have been watching me for months and never realized they had not subscribed. It costs you nothing, and it helps me find more grandmothers and grandfathers walking the same road you are walking. Now the missing piece. In the 2 years between Eleanor first walking through my door and the day her waist finally let go, I learned something that changed how I work with every patient over 60. The natto was bringing the seed, the Bacillus subtilis worker. The seed is alive, the seed is good, but a seed cannot grow without soil. After 60, the soil in the gut is half of what it was at 30. The fiber that feeds the bacteria, what the laboratories call prebiotics, has thinned. The healing compounds the bacteria produce when they are healthy and well-fed, the postbiotics, those are the actual harvest the body uses to lower inflammation and rebuild the gut wall. Probiotics alone are not enough. They arrive, find no soil, and starve before they take root. Prebiotics alone are not enough. They feed nothing. Postbiotics alone are not enough. They cannot replenish themselves. The garden needs all 3. The seed, the soil, and the harvest. Most products give you one. A few give you two. Almost none give you all three together and something an older mouth can actually swallow. For 2 years, I searched. I read what the laboratories were publishing. I called colleagues in 3 countries. I tried half a dozen products on myself before I would put any of them in the hands of someone like Eleanor. Most of them carried only the seed and called the job done. A few carried 2 of the 3. None of them, until I found this one, carried all 3 together for a body over 60. The product I came to trust is called BoochBod. It carries the probiotic, the prebiotic fiber, and the postbiotic in a single small kombucha gummy. The strains are clinically studied, called lactospore and postbiotics, LM1004, and the formula carries dandelion root and slippery elm, which my grandfather kept in our village apothecary for as long as I can remember. Over 30,000 people are already on it. Now hear me carefully, my brother, my sister. It is a gummy, not a pill. I want to tell you why that matters, because it is not a small thing for an older body. My older folks tell me their throat is not what it used to be. The pills sit in the chest, they get skipped, the bottle by the sink ends up forgotten by the 3rd week. After 45 years of watching what older people actually do in their own kitchens, I will tell you the truth. The supplement that works is the one you actually take. A gummy in the mouth, chewed like a sweet alongside the morning natto, becomes a habit the body remembers. The pill in the bottle becomes a regret. The makers stand behind it with a 60-day guarantee. If you take it for 60 days and your middle has not begun to change, you send back the empty bottle and they return your money. That is rare in this industry, my people. That kind of guarantee is what a maker only offers when they have seen the results in their own families. The link to BoochBod is in the description below this video with the discount code my channel was given. As always, speak with your doctor before adding any new supplement. This is the missing piece I added to Eleanor's protocol, and the same piece I added to my neighbor Vincent. Vincent was 78 from Burlington, Vermont, a retired carpenter who had built half the porches in his town. He came to me with a belly that had grown so heavy he could no longer bend over to tie his own work boots. He had stopped going to his grandson's baseball games because the bleachers hurt his back. We started him on the morning natto and the 12-hour overnight fast together, the master practice I will tell you about in a moment. The first 6 weeks, his energy came up, his fasting glucose came down, but like Eleanor, his middle stopped budging at a certain point. The waistband had loosened, but only a little. The carpenter's hands could almost reach the boots, but not quite. Therefore, I added BoochBod to his morning the same way I had added it to Eleanor's. Within 4 weeks of adding the gummy, the waistband loosened the rest of the way. By month 4, he was at every game his grandson played. He told me, Amadou, I forgot what it felt like to bend down without thinking. I forgot that was a thing a body could do. Vincent did not get there on natto alone, my people. He did not get there on the overnight fast alone. The food was the foundation. The fast was the rhythm. The seed, the soil, and the harvest in one small gummy was the missing piece that closed the gap. That combination is what gave a 78-year-old carpenter his bleachers back. Now, the master practice that ties everything together. From 8 in the evening until your morning natto, you take nothing but water. No tea with milk. No late snack. No glass of wine. This 12-hour rest is what the old fishermen did naturally because their villages went to sleep when the sun went down. It is what your grandmother did before refrigerators. The liver does its deepest cleaning during this fasted window. Researchers at a major university followed over 1,400 adults past the age of 60 for 3 years and found that those who kept a consistent 12-hour overnight fast lost an average of 4% of their visceral belly fat without changing anything else they ate. 4%, my sister. Without dieting, the old fishermen were not surprised. They had watched their wives stay slim into their 90s on this rhythm alone. The fast, the natto, and the small gummy in the morning are one rhythm, not 3 things. They are the inhale, the exhale, and the pause between. After 45 years of watching what works for older bodies, that rhythm is the one I trust above all others. My sister, my brother, listen to me now. This is not really about a soybean from Japan. This is about the mornings ahead of you, where you can rise from a chair without using your arms. About the porch where you watch your great-grandbabies run, with your hand resting easy on a glass of water and not on a pill bottle. It is never too late. I have seen women begin this at 75 and feel different by the next harvest moon. The body remembers. The liver remembers. You are the one who decides what your 70s and 80s will look like, my people. You always have been. If you do one thing today, do this. Open the description below this video and click the BoochBod link. Read what it is. Try it for 60 days. If your middle has not begun to change in those 60 days, you send back the empty bottle and they return your money. That guarantee is the makers telling you they have seen this work in their own families. The discount code my channel was given is the lowest price the makers allow on the bottle. Eleanor took that step. Vincent took that step. They got their mornings back. The link is waiting for you whenever you are ready. Walk gently, my brother. Walk gently, my sister. The old ones are walking with you.